Hello everyone. Welcome to today's debate.
We're so excited to be here today.
Today we're discussing whether minimum wage increases will lead to economic stagnation.
That's right, and I think it's a topic that can't be ignored. With the cost of living going up, a lot of people are struggling to make ends meet.
As we'll see today, I firmly believe that raising the minimum wage will lead to higher unemployment and economic downturn. I'm here to present the case against increasing the minimum wage.
And I'm here to argue that a higher minimum wage is essential for lifting people out of poverty and stimulating economic growth. We need to set the record straight on this issue.
Throughout this debate, we'll explore the arguments for and against raising the minimum wage, and our presenters will share their expert insights. We'll also hear from each other and respond to the counterarguments.
And I think it's great that we can have a respectful discussion on this topic. It's not about being pro or anti-wages. It's about finding the best solution for our economy.
That's fair. I think we'll have a very engaging conversation. There won't be any personal attacks or inflammatory language, just facts and evidence.
Absolutely. We're here to have a constructive discussion. Let's get started and see what we can learn from each other.
What about low-skilled workers in rural areas?
Higher labor costs, reduced hiring, driving businesses under.
But that's an unfair advantage for cities over rural areas.
It's still a valid example. Don't dismiss it outright.
What about small businesses? They can't afford the increased labor costs.
That's not downplaying. It's comparing to previous hikes.
What about the impact on U.S. businesses that export goods to countries with lower minimum wages?
Cities often test ground for federal policy changes.
I have a friend who runs a small diner, and a minimum wage increase would shut him down.
The Great Depression-era wage freezes didn't kickstart the recovery.
Creative? You mean like raise our prices? How's that helping the poor?
I'm suggesting gradual wage growth to match productivity.
I don't see how that's going to help anyone.
Economic systems are complex. There's no one-size-fits-all plan.
Experience? You mean like learn to live on the streets?
People crave respect and a living wage. It's basic human needs.
What about single mothers who are now going to struggle even more?
I provided data. Now it's your turn.
A mandatory policy? You know how that kind of thing gets implemented?
France and Sweden have faced challenges with higher minimum wages.
At least small businesses could voice their opinions during that debate.
We can learn from their subtle nuances and incorrect implementations.
Just because it's necessary doesn't mean it's going to get implemented.
Not abstract. I have academic papers to back up my claims.
How about other countries? They don't have these kinds of problems.
It's because we need to be open to the wisdom of publicly available information.
That's a weak argument. Something can't be done just because it's hard.
Easy to say, but your facts are selectively chosen.
Your argument is just theoretical. What real-world evidence do you have?
You'll see once economic downturns start materializing.
That depends on the industry and the region, not just the increase.
They can't compete with bigger cities and their higher wages.
Based on your own words, these small businesses just need to be more creative.
No more than manufacturing is an advantage over service work.
It's not all about being creative. You also have to be realistic.
They have to adapt like everyone else. It's a changing market.
Governments are the problem, not the solution.
That's not the point. It's about fairness and equality here.
It's not a stagnant system, Progress is always possible.
Maybe he needs to get creative with his menu and pricing.
Not if we raise taxes on the wealthy to fund these increases.
It's all about making do with what you have, right?
Think outside the box. What are you even suggesting?
It's experience-based. People can learn and get more jobs.
That sounds like a hollow promise. Can you actually deliver on that?
No, like learning new skills and getting hired somewhere else.
I'd love to see those ideas, if you don't mind sharing them.
We can negotiate a mandatory parental leave policy to make up for it.
This debate is starting to feel more like a theory exercise than an actual argument.
Of course, slowly and after much debate, but still necessary.
In conclusion, I'd like to summarize my main points.
Sadly, they're often underrepresented in these kinds of discussions.
I acknowledge the potential benefits of higher wages, but we have to acknowledge the risks as well.
Politics aside, we have to try to make it happen. We owe it to ourselves.
So, after weighing both sides, the takeaway for me is
Other countries have different economies, politics, and social dynamics.
thank you all for watching today's debate.
It needs to be examined in its own context and within the context of our system.
Just admit we need more research, then let's take action.
Studies have shown that moderate increases don't lead to significant job losses.
That's not what I said. It's about the unintended consequences.
It's a more complex issue than you make it out to be.
It's data-driven. Check the economic reports from 2008.
Exactly, but it's hard to be creative when the costs keep rising.
But minimum wage increases since then have been moderate.
Realistic? That's something that governments should be more of.
Seattle is a unique market. Can't compare to national trends.
But without them, the economy can't regulate itself.
Named individuals can be wrong. History shows us that.
But in whose favor do we make progress? Just the wealthy or the whole population?
Serious economic downturns demand serious consideration.
That's a dated policy. We need to think outside the box.
It's an experimentation with economic growth.
I'm suggesting something that benefits the whole economy, not just the wealthy.
I want people to have dignity in their work and fair pay.
Of course, I have ideas for bridging the wealth gap through policy.
Some things are basic and non-negotiable, like access to food.
Maybe I will in the future, but first, let's see if we can increase the minimum wage.
Of course, but let's keep it to minimum wage directly.
At least we're having an honest and open discussion. That's more than most people do.
Global trade and markets are connected. We benefit from international lessons.
I agree, but I'd like to highlight the importance of fair wages.
Consider the studies on 2019's $15 minimum wage discussions.
That's fair, but we can't ignore efficiency in the labor market either.
I'm waiting for the debate moderator to dig them up.
In my view, the most important takeaway is
That's rich coming from someone evading difficult questions.
we hope this gave you something to think about.
See you next time.